Right, welcome to the first Over the Loop interview before the first round of the BRCA 1/10 Off-Road Nationals. We're here at the stunning Robin Hood Raceway facility with the guy behind the whole thing, Mr James Helliwell. Good morning.
Yeah, good to meet you, Adam.
Of course, say good morning. It's afternoon now, so maybe I should start looking at the clock, but good stuff. So how long have you actually had this track here, and how long has Robin Hood Raceway been in action?
The club was actually founded in 1989. Back then it was just a straightforward grass field, so it's been actually a long road to get here. We had a major renovation in 2006 where we completely resurfaced the entire layout, we extended it. We had been running 8-scale nitro for a couple of years, so the surface wasn't in the best condition. Complete renovation and rebranding to Robin Hood Raceway from Blythe. There's a lot of people know it previously, and that's where we are today.
Now, a lot of people know, but not everyone knows you're a farmer by trade, so I assume this is family-owned land?
Yes, the farm's actually about 1.5 miles away. Very convenient. We can make use of some of the machinery we've got. Obviously, we've got the land, fortunately. We don't have to pay a rent on. Mostly, we don't have to worry about neighbours. We're in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, it works. It's a good combination. It works well.
So, how long have you been racing personally? Because I assume you got into laying a track here because you're a racer at heart.
Yes, I've got my first car in 1988.
Just 4 years after I was born.
Yeah, so I am a veteran now, unfortunately, but there you go. And the first meeting I went to was at a club at the back of a pub in a car park. There were 2 clubs in the town, that was one of them. And the other club was looking for a permanent venue. And at the time we had this site, all we had was a toilet block in the corner of a grass field. We offered them the use of it. And back then, obviously, we were all quite young. All the dads clubbed together, gradually accumulated equipment, pipework, rostrum, and it grew from there.
And it's fair to say that you've held some big meetings here, not just nationals, but also Euros in the past, and there's Euros here next year as well.
Yeah, 2020 Euros. You probably know the story about the Worlds. We did apply. We got very close, second in the voting, but in the end, the alternative clay venue, Huddy Arena, they were given the venue after Reims pulled out. But Euros is no shame. We've done it once before. We had very good feedback. We know what we're doing. Great team. Slightly different surface on the AstroTurf this time. Obviously, it was a clay in 2015. We have lots of plans. We need to up our game on what we did previously. So, yeah, come and watch if you're not racing.
Well, I don't think I'll be racing somehow. There's no need to embarrass myself on a European stage. It's quite enough doing it on a national stage without doing it in front of the whole of Europe. But obviously this weekend is not your first big meeting of the year. You had the Bradbury Cup, but this is a pretty big meeting. So what can we expect this weekend at Robin Hood?
We've got a fairly straightforward layout. I've put some photographs on our Facebook page. I've been slightly concerned about the weather. We've had a big system moving around the British Isles, so we weren't sure if it was going to be a wet weekend. Tomorrow looks decent. The wind looks like it might drop a little. Robin Hood's usually known for being quite a windy venue. Sunday looks, on the whole, good, as long as we can get through qualifying. It doesn't really matter if the finals are wet. They were last year, but all the hard work's done, and it's an even playing field for the finals. So, let's just hope for a fine weekend at least.
Yep, and let's hope that 6 people don't turn up tomorrow morning so that I can actually race. I mean, for Sunday at least, but it would be nice to... It does look like a fantastic layout out there, so it would be great to get racing myself tomorrow. Obviously, you're racing this weekend, I assume, as well.
Yes.
What are your expectations with the Nationals this year?
I'm not sure. I made the A in 4-wheel drive here last year. I think I was finished either 8th or 9th. I was in the B in 2-wheel. You just never know until the day, really. I think a lot of the local track advantage has gone with Robin Hood. For one thing, we hold a lot of racing. Broadly the same layout's been down for over 10 years now. First couple of years, there was a bit of a home advantage as it was different for a lot of people. But you never know. If you have a good practice, you hit the ground running, it would be nice to get a double A final personally, but I'm just happy to compete and make the most of it, really.
And obviously you've got the right cars to do it as well. Running X-Ray still this year. I think a few of us saw your picture on Facebook last night. How many cars are you running?
Well, yeah, 3 2-wheel and 2 4-wheel. But to be honest, the 4-wheel, one of them's a workshop car. I might use it as a wet car if it does rain. This year's car that I'm running outdoors has been my EOS carpet car, and I only did 3 or 4 meetings, so I've been basically saving it for the main national series. And the 3 2-wheel drives, one of them's a 19 carpet, one of them's a 19 dirt, and the other one is a hybrid I built for workshop, which again is really my wet car.
So let's talk briefly about what is right behind you out of the window there, the nice green surface here. Any changes to the track for those that haven't been here since last year?
Yeah, so I think it's the biggest on the calendar. It's about 10,000 square feet. Certainly got the largest elevation changes. We've got a huge bank corner, a huge dip in the middle. For those who have been before, there's a double, the second lane out, which has always worked fairly well in one direction, but not particularly great the other direction. You tend to case the top of the second jump, and it just doesn't flow. So we've converted that to a tabletop and lengthened both of the up ramp and down ramp, and they do work in both directions. 2-wheel drive will go right to left, and 4-wheel will come back the other way. But that really is the major change. We've tidied a few bumps up and improved a couple of curbs, but nothing really to speak of. Spent a lot of time sweeping the sand back in, because we've had such a lot of racing last year. A lot of the sand was on the outside. Grip level was really high, and the sand is obviously what helps it maintain its structure while dry, and in the wet it generates a little bit more traction where you have a sandy area, as long as it's not buried in sand where you can actually see it on the surface. So I think the surface is as good as it's been.
And just, I took a quick wander around the track earlier myself, and just after the loop, you take a right. That's is a chap just trying to climb up it now. It's a really steep little jump up there, isn't there?
It is. The trick over that is to just pop over the top and drive down the downslope. There's no point spending time after a vertical jump hanging in the air. You're just wasting time, and it's more likely someone will probably hit you from behind anyway. So yeah, nice and smooth around there. Pop onto the top and generate the drive as you head downhill.
Any planning to do much to what you've got out here before the Euros next year?
Improvements generally. No major changes. We need to do some resurfacing. We're going to get as much running in as we can this year. Everyone get a good feel for the layout. And then as we get into 2020, there'll be very little racing until the Euros itself. We need to replace the AstroTurf over the start-finish line, which is just after the qualifying start line. You can't avoid that corner because our loop is there. So obviously every track we've run has had traffic on it. We can move the rest of the layout around to save on wear, but yeah, generally resurfacing, smoothing out 1 or 2 bumps. We've got a huge platform, big steel platform being installed at the end of what was the concrete bank corner. That'll house the media centre, possibly the referees. We're looking to purchase a scoreboard, so just a general upgrade of everything. Oh, and a new rostrum roof.
Yeah, you say, oh yeah, not much, but it sounds like you've listed quite a bit there. Final question from me. Again, on my little wander around the track earlier, I've identified my targets for the weekend. 3 flower pots on the track. How many will be left come the end of tomorrow?
Well, I'm not really worried if people hit the flower pots as they're on the track level, but we've got 4 hanging baskets, so if anyone hits those, then we will be in trouble.
I think probably the only one that might be reachable is after the big tabletop. There's one hanging off the rostrum. So, but if anyone gets that, they're probably hitting the rostrum as well.
Yeah, you can take it home if you get that one.
Well, there you go. If you hit the hanging basket, you can take it home. What an offer from James. Seriously, though, thank you for your time this afternoon, having a quick chat about Robin Hood, and maybe we'll come back and have a quick chat over the weekend as well. Although I'm sure you're going to be incredibly busy, both running this facility and obviously trying to race yourself. But thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Big thanks to our team as well. Great job this weekend.
Excellent. Thank you very much.